So now I have a pleasure to introduce my colleague in that better way that she did. She is an excellent researcher in Quaid-e-Azam University, where I served for many years now. She is one of the most favorite kind of teacher in Quaid-e-Azam University, director of National Institute of Psychology, very provocative and intelligent lady. So straight away, I ask her, request her to kindly take over and present her views. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shanwari, for your nice words for me. I'm sure my presentation is shared.
Not yet, please. You are sharing your screen, or Mariam is going to share from her screen?
Just 1 minute, please.
Yeah, yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Zabta Khan Shanwari, for such a nice words introduction for me. So I will start my presentation, that is research in social sciences, COVID to post-COVID transformation. And as much has been comprehensively deliberated in morning sessions, so I will try to keep it more brief. Just I will talk about briefly impact of COVID-19, then the role of social scientists in this pandemic, and I will briefly touch upon the hazards that social scientists researchers have faced in the field, and finally I would like to share some future directions or opportunities which social scientists have gained through this pandemic. All of you know that the outbreak of COVID-19 has had caused significant social, political, and economic consequences worldwide, and it is a global crisis. I need not to mention it, but it's a great challenge and a health crisis. However, it is much more than that. COVID 19 related medical research is booming for reasons obvious and urgent. Perhaps less predictably, social science research is having a movement too. Many social scientists see disasters as invaluable lenses through which to study the good, the bad, and the ugly of human sciences. And the coronavirus pandemic is one hell of a lens, they say. A very famous sociologist, Laurie Peake, he has concluded this problem like it is during moments of crisis when oftentimes we can learn most about the social order, because the pandemic teach you how the social order is important to meet all the life phenomena. You have seen that researchers has well established that there were three major issues which come out during this pandemic. Obviously, the first one was health. It includes physical and psychological health, and then economy, a big disaster due to this COVID, and another major aspect was education. But you see, all these three issues, these crises, they does not they do not exist in vacuum. They are fabricated within social world. So we need to understand the relationships of these issues with the social world and social phenomena. If we see one by one, researchers have well established that COVID 19 has cut around the globe due to decentralization and fragmentation of healthcare services. We have discussed earlier that healthcare services were struck much, but these healthcare services were taken very nicely with medical professionals, and they have worked upon it, and a lot has been published on in medical research. Then there was economy. We have seen that is irrespective of any geographical region, religion, race, color, or economic status. We have observed the countries experiencing decline in the GDP and increase in unemployment. and especially in the informal sectors, and consequently has led to increase in poverty levels, food insecurities and malnutritions. And then the crisis of education that might have an immediate impact on children and youth. And we have seen that there was learning deficits, there were increased in dropout rates, then there was disproportionate opportunities due to the different education systems, especially in the underdeveloped countries, where the students studying in elite schools, they were having the opportunity to get e-learning and online classes, but other students, all of the students were not getting this opportunity. So this was a big crisis. And when we see the research is published, particularly in psychology, sociology and anthropology, we have seen in the initial phase there were a lot of mental health issues. Then there was uncertainty, intolerance, and we have also seen that there was some alternate solutions to the problems, and people learn how to live with this new normal world. And all these phenomena actually were discussed in many researches. Social scientists have investigated issues from mental health to their workplace leaderships. And but the problem was, as discussed earlier, that at initial phases there were some repetition of the data, review papers were published, and most of the work was redundant, and publications were mostly on the symptoms or current situations on the problem, or we can say the nature of the issue. And then later on it was shifted to some recovery or growth models. The social scientists have faced many challenges during their research process. The first thing that was, obviously they were restricted to work on some topics, because all the shift was gone through the, every topic was related to the COVID. Even we have seen in academia and in higher education that the students of PhD, they were supposed to, they have changed their topics of research, they have added the COVID impact in their topic. And we have also seen that there were number of research projects which were stopped because people were more interested to know about COVID related phenomena. Then there were restrictions for researchers to go in and collect data from field because of lockdowns, because of social distancing. So they were forced to collect data through online resources. And most of the researchers in social sciences have worked on qualitative, and in quantitative the data number of participants in researches were very low. And then people were compromised, researchers have to compromise on methodology. They were not open to opt any methodology, research methodology, initially for data collection and then analysis as well, due to number of factors. Then, as I have discussed earlier, there was repeated topics and redundancy in findings. There were not any beneficial addition in the literature, and no much information for new theories and everything. Then we have also seen that lack of fundings for social science researches, and it was contradictory to the Western world. We have seen that in Europe, the funds for researches were almost doubled, and people had availed a lot of funding for researches. But especially in Asia and underdeveloped countries, we were lack of funds, maybe due to the economical conditions or poor GDP and all about that. But people were not getting much funds to work in social science areas. Then for mental health professionals, there were ethical imperatives of self-care as well, because the mental health professionals who were working with the diagnoses, assessments, and counseling. They were providing services to the masses and community. They were having their own mental health issues as well, and there was not way out to counsel these professionals. So actually, the mental health professional was also like front foot workers who were working in this pandemic. And then digital trainings, as we have seen in earlier presentations, that there were a shift to the digital world, and researchers of social sciences were not much trained in initial phases. Later on, they were able to use all the gadget and devices, and uh, they have got some informal or formal trainings as well to work through this digital uh, transformations. WHO has identified few issues in social sciences to work upon, like public health, clinical care, health systems, engagements in public health responses, and media and communications, sexual and reproductive health, and international cooperations and interdisciplinary collaborations. So some of the areas or disciplines have followed these guidelines, and they have worked upon these areas. And if we see the priorities for the social scientists, that we need to opt in our post-COVID world. So these are actually four areas in which social scientists need to work so that they can integrate with the medical research, and they can contribute in existing literature. Like number one is the collaboration. As advised by WHO and suggested by WHO, we need to work in interdisciplinary. We are already working like there is no line between any social scientist. We are working with environmental scientists, we are working with anthropologists, and we are also working with economic professionals. And then when we need to serve to community, so we need to collaborate with the industries, with the different kind of organizations, so we can bridge the gap between research institutes and the industry and community. So community can get the outreach services of researchers. Then the second thing is, social scientists need to work on the visibility of their work. How they can improve the visibility? They need to get accessibility and recognition in communities, businesses, and policy makers. They need to use more latest innovative digital ideas that was presented by I think Charlie Muir has presented this innovative ideas. So this is really a good opportunity for social scientists if they want to improve the visibility of their work and they really want to integrate with medical research. They need to work upon it. Then there is to improve the credibility. We have talked a lot about the malpractices, the pseudoscience effects in this morning, and they are really like peer review processes and this fast track publications. We have seen and we have been victimized actually that with the loss of a lot of money, we were published in a fast track. We were in hurry that we should publish our findings regarding this COVID-19, and we were in the race of publishing first and in the world. But that has given a lot of losses to the credibility of research. And we have also seen, like in Pakistan, a lot of journals which were giving opportunity for this fast track publications at the initial phase of COVID, and currently they have been removed from the HARS system of Higher Education Commission. These journals are de-recognized. So this is what we need to work upon in the future, that we need to work on the utility of research, excellence and framework in the round. We need to establish our credibility by following the ethical guidelines and need not to violate ethics in any um, um, in the under the umbrella of flexibility or relaxations due to COVID situations. Then incentives, which are very important, like all other professionals, social scientists also need some incentives. For this, they need potential resources to support their efforts and sincere and enthusiastic celebrations of their success as well. As Dr. Zapta discussed, that social science research need to incorporate it to the medical and hard science research, so that we can get some sustainable solutions for the community to work upon in the future, and we can go to the transformation from initial phase of COVID to the post-COVID world with the more positive approach. Uh, Here are also some post-COVID directions American Psychological Association for Social Scientists to work upon in future. Like the most important I have highlighted in red in this slide. Like we are already working in behavioral and public health domain, but we also need to work on biases, discriminations and equity. These are very important areas, because if we want to serve community, we need to focus on these areas. And then education, training, distance learning, journal parenting and caregiving, these are also important areas in social sciences, because parenting and caregiving is the aspect of training of young people who have to serve to society, who have to overcome their intolerance and their aggression that was inculcated in their behaviors during their stay at home, during lockdowns and during universities and schools closure. Then we need to work upon physical distancing and isolation as well. The concept of social distancing has arisen new avenues for social scientists to work on the theories of social psychology. Like we need to
Dr.
increase.
Rubina, you have to wind it up, unfortunately.
I'm
Time.
sorry. I'm just going to wind up. So we need to work upon the to increase or enhance the connectedness with the people and following the social distancing. So this will give you a new avenue to work. Then tele-mental health and tele-psychology is also new ideas that we need to work. If we see the transformation from COVID to post-COVID in social science research, we can see that initially we were working on the assessment or understanding of the problems, and then we learn that how we can adjust to the this new world through our utilizing our psychological resources like resilience and coping mechanisms. Then we need to enter in phase 3, that is the recovery phase, and that will take us to the like post-traumatic growth period, where we can flourish and we can work as a flourishing community. And here are 3 conclusions that can be followed in future social scientists. Number 1, to generate high quality social science evidences for achieving the goals for this goals of national strategic public health response plans. Secondly, we need to develop and employ strong methodology and theoretical frameworks to tackle current epidemic challenges. Lastly, we need to understand consequences of epidemic control decisions, and priority thematic areas need to be worked upon, which are identified. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rubina. Perfect as usual. You are really great, and I would love to be your student in my next, generation if I come again to this world. Anyway, before I ask Yasser Jamil to invite new speaker, let me request Mariam Sayab is there. If there is any sponsor, let's go and to have some kind of a video.
Yes, Dr. Shinwari, I am playing the video.
You are playing a video?
Yes, she is going to play a video.
Oh. और आप कैसे हैं?